your bird feeder on a pole as opposed to hanging it in a tree, the birds are protected from predators that might climb trees or windowsills. And the bird feeders themselves are also protected because when the squirrel climbs on the bird feeder, he often dumps it out. And if it's a wooden bird feeder, they can tear them up in no time at all. So when a bird feeder is on a pole, both the birds and the bird feeder are protected from the predators and other animals that might tear up the bird feeders or eat all the bird seed. Four is squirrels can jump up to 10 feet. So make sure that the limbs of trees and fences are 10 feet away. So if there was a post over there somewhere or anything, then the squirrels could jump 10 feet over here, and they would do it. And when I just hung my bird feeders in the trees, then they would either destroy the bird feeder or dump it on the ground. If the bird feeders are metal, they can't destroy them, but they do dump them on the ground. And I have actually seen with those wooden bird feeders that look so nice, the squirrels can actually, if they get onto them, they can actually claw it. They have nice strong claws, and they can actually tear a bird feeder apart with their claws. So that's why I only go with metal bird feeders now. But even the metal bird feeders, if they hang, even the metal bird feeders, if they hang on a hook like this, can go back and forth. So if the squirrel was to get onto here, he would just dump it on the ground like that. And there goes all your bird seed. And so on the one hand, while a little bit on the ground is okay because it does feed the squirrels somewhat, and there are birds that only eat off of the ground. But for the most part, you just don't want the squirrels in your bird feeders dumping them upside down and everything. These are all the parts of the bird feeder I'm going to use right here. I just dug them out of the garage. Stand here and look at it, it's slanting quite a bit. So what you can do to fix that, if your bird feeder pole seems to slant, push it over to where you think is straight, scrap lumber, put it in the hole that was created when you pushed it over to where you thought it should be, and then just pound that in there. And then that'll keep it straight. And if later on, when it gets muddy down there or something, it starts leaning the other way, you can do the opposite. And that's just a good way to keep the pole straight from leaning over, especially if the soil at the bottom, it's been raining or not, or whatever, that the pole can start leaning in the soft soil. So that's how I fix that. And sometimes by the time that winter's over, I might have one on all the sides. And eventually that wood just rots away, and you can put more if you want. If you don't have your lumber, you can use sticks or anything to fill in the hole where you pushed it over to where you thought that was straight. Here is this thing here. It comes separate, and when you buy the bird feeder, and then you just attach it here with screws and nuts. And this thing here, that's on this thing here, and so it just is loose in the wind like that. And so if the squirrels do, and they have climbed up this pole quite a bit, and they'll get to here and they'll just look around like they're confused. And if they did put their fingers on this, it just blows back and forth like that and scares them. So this is how, I think it's called a squirrel baffle, and you could actually make one out of a coffee can or anything like this, but the store-bought one works the best for me. Okay, so there's this limb here, and I didn't, the squirrels evidently jumped off of the limb onto the bird feeder, and then when they were eating all the bird seed, when they climb on the sides of the bird feeder, it throws it, you can see this is empty already, it throws it off balance, and then it feeds like that because of they're heavy on one side, so that, yeah, so the thing to do to prevent this from happening anymore is to cut off that limb. The weight of the squirrels on the bird feeder has also made it crooked again, so I'll put another piece of wood down there in that side to make it look level again, although it would work okay like that. So the thing to do now is to cut off this limb up here. I like bird feeders that are really easy to use. So you just lift the lid off, you don't have to unscrew anything. And they usually come like a little thing on one side. If you pull that little, then the whole top comes off. That's about the easiest way to just slip it in there. Can't see. My hands are so full right now. Okay, we have got here, this keeps the squirrels off because this thing here slides up and down, and so they can't climb up the pole, and so that's what keeps the squirrels out of the bird feeder. And you don't want squirrels in your bird feeders because they will destroy them overnight. These are some of the best feeders I have, and also some of the oldest. But just grab one side and lift it up and then pour it in. And the good thing about these feeders is there's nothing to fasten or unfasten. You just lift the lid up. You don't have to unscrew anything. It's really a nuisance being out in the middle of winter trying to screw things on and off. So just lift up the lid. That's why I like these feeders here. And some of the older and also some of the feeders. So I just dumped the bag in there. You don't really have to worry about how much you spill on the ground, because there's some ground feeders that only eat off the ground and squirrels will get it. So that's all there is for that one. And over here, we call them the fish poles because that's what they kind of look like, goldfish poles. But these are cool too, because all you gotta do is just lift up the lid. You don't have to unfasten anything or anything like that. And then just pour it in there. And in cold weather, like it is now, you really don't want to be doing a bunch more, like fastening lids and things. So if I was picking out a bird feeder, I would steer clear of anything with lids that fasten down. You know, another important thing is the size of these holes here. In the summertime, we have to constantly be unplugging them because of the rain. But if the hole is too big, then the bird seed comes out too fast. But you can also see there's a hole right there for the rain to get out in the summer. But fortunately in the winter time, you don't have to worry about the rain too much. And so they don't get clogged up much in the winter, not near as much as they do in the summer. But it's important to keep them unclogged in the summer because if the bird seed starts to mold or something like that, it can be harmful to the birds. So in the summertime, you have to keep them unclogged and freely flowing. The reason that the squirrels can't get on this particular bird feeder here is because the thing here bounces up and down, and the moment they climb up and get on it, the fact that it moves scares them away. So, because you want to have a pole or something like this to keep the birds, the squirrels, off or out of the bird feeders. They can tear up the best bird feeders so fast. So you want to have a nice little pole like that woodpeckers especially like, and starlings and some other birds. Just pull this down, put the suet cake in there, and then lock it back up, and we'll do that next. This here is a suet for the suet feeders, and you notice this is no melt. The other kind, I found that the birds don't seem to like it so much, and you can't even feed it in the summer. So we just get the no melt year round. But this one here, you notice it's called woodpecker dough. But we get a couple kinds of woodpeckers, and it seems like there's a lot of different birds that like this. I think most of all the starlings just love it, and we can have a whole flock of them here devouring it. But you can buy it individually, but this is just a case. Just buy it like that, and you can see how each individual one is individually wrapped. So I don't suppose it much matters how you get it out of there. I just have an old pocket knife that I use for it. This particular one, these are probably all different, but this particular one, the door just folds down like that. And one of the things when you're doing this, you just want to be sure that when you get done, go in the house and wash your hands first thing. We get our stuff mostly at Menards, but you can get it at Walmart or most any place that sells bird seed. It's going to have suet and bird feeders and all the stuff you're going to need. You can see here this little piece. They've not quite finished it all the way yet. Over here, these here have been here for a while. You can see there's several of those cubes in here, and you can see how the birds have pecked on them. Like I say, starlings, and there's several nuthatches and all kinds of birds actually just love that stuff, and they'll just keep pecking on it until it's all gone, and then I'll refill it. This one here unclips the same way the other one did. And I actually put this hook through here so it kind of locks it shut. But since the squirrels can't get up here past this thing, this baffle here, it doesn't really matter. But you do want to keep all the bird seed and the suet away from the squirrels by putting a baffle on your bird feeder. I actually tried hanging them on trees first thing when I first started, but it just simply does not work because the squirrels climb down the tree and they'll destroy the bird feeder in a few days. So you really got to have something like either this or those baffles to protect your bird feeder poles. And they also come, we get a lot of our stuff at Menards, and they've got these came from Menards, and this particular pole that's different, it came from Amazon, and these fishbowl feeders, we call them, came from Walmart. So you can just kind of look around everywhere and get what you like. I need to stand this up and put a piece of wood down in there where it's leaning over like that, but I'll wait till it gets a bit warmer. And here you can see these feeders here, they're frozen up. There. Well, this one here is empty. I'll have to go in the house and get some bird seed and fill it up. But yeah, you just have to unclog the holes as best you can. At least that port there is flowing pretty good. There, I got this one here. Okay, and birds really like to have water, but they like to have it year-round. And cement bird baths or ceramic bird baths, you have to dump it in the wintertime. If the water freezes in them, it breaks them too. And so what I have here is my bird bath that you can use year-round. And even if the water freezes in here, it doesn't hurt anything. And it's not meant to be a bird bath, it's just been repurposed. And basically what it is, it's a planter, and I just put a chunk of concrete in there to make it heavier, and it's fiberglass. And to hold the water, I have a really huge plant tray. It's a plastic, hard plastic rubber, or hard rubber, that just fits in there perfectly. Animals can't knock it over. In fact, the squirrels and the feral cats actually will jump from the ground up onto it, and that doesn't knock it over. And the cats actually stand here on the edge and drink. And I put rocks out here to make it easier for them. But yeah, they can jump up here from the ground. And in the wintertime, I fill it up with a juice can, like a gallon juice container, like apple juice or something that you get at the grocery store, and just use that container to fill it up in the wintertime from the house. This summer, I just fill it up with the garden hose. And in the summer, I dump it every day because I don't want to have mosquitoes. Might as well give them some. Birds love brush piles. In addition to feeding the birds in your garden, make a brush pile for them. Birds love brush piles. These messy heaps of branches and twigs and leaves offer the following benefits for them. Winter refuge. During the harsh winter months, brush piles can offer much needed insulation from the biting cold. Smaller birds can huddle together within the pile, sharing body heat and conserving precious energy. Shelter and security. Brush piles provide a safe haven from predators like hawks and owls. This tangled mess conceals birds from preying eyes, giving them a place to rest and relax without fear. Nesting sites. Many bird species, such as wrens and sparrows and chickadees, readily build their nests within the cozy confines of a brush pile. This foliage provides dense protection from the elements and keeps predators at bay. And they provide a food source. Brush piles are teeming with tasty treats for insectivores like kinglets and woodpeckers. Hidden amongst the leaves and branches are a bounty of insects and spiders and other invertebrates, offering a tasty treat for nutritious birds. Create a brush pile to attract more birds to your garden. Just gather up some dead branches and twigs and leaves and pile them in a sunny spot. Be sure to avoid using treated wood or thorny plants, as these can harm the birds.